Hey there, it's Derek here from Pacific Coast Auto in Japan, and we're looking at a 1998 Nissan Skyline. This one here is the GT model, so it comes with a Neo 6 inline 2.5 liter RB25 engine. This one is a non-turbo, also an automatic transmission. This is also a 4-door Skyline, and so there are a lot of different versions of the Skyline. They come in 2-door or 4-door, turbo or non-turbo, GTR or GT or GTT, and a bunch of other little combinations of them. This one has the Nismo optional aero front bumper. Is overall in excellent condition with just 63,000 original kilometers. We bought this one from auction for export over to the USA. This one's going to Tacoma, and overall I would say it's in very good condition. You can get a huge savings by going with either an auto or going with the 4-door. Gets you a little bit of savings, actually not a lot, or if you go with a non-turbo. And so you can get them for a decent price if what you're looking for is a Skyline. Maybe you have hopes of doing an engine swap, or maybe just this version of the Skyline is the one that you want. Maybe it's the only one that you can afford, and nothing against that. They are extremely expensive now that they are US legal, and that's right. This one here is one of the first ones that's going to the USA legally. All of the Skylines, or all of the R34s prior to this year, have been illegally imported, except in some cases there were some very few that got into the States that were legal. But for the most part, if someone said, hey, can I buy a Skyline? Our answer would have been no, wait until they're 25 years old, and they are now. GTR will become legal next January from the date of posting this. I'm going to close the hood. Before I do that, I want to show no rust problems at all in the strut towers. Do be very careful about that for the Skyline, GTRs, GTSTs, Silvias, Elgrans, basically anything made by Nissan of this era. I'll close the hood here. I will say oil and coolant are both fine. It looks like it's been a well-maintained vehicle. And if you're wondering why I'm shooting this in the lot instead of on the road like I usually do, for one, I've got a bit of space here, but it's dark today. It's all overcasty, and all of the light gets sucked from that row of trees, and so one side of it you couldn't really see anything, and I just thought it was too dark to get a good representation of the car, so that's why. So for now I'm going to turn the engine off, and we'll shoot the rest of it with it off. I'll give you a little bit of a engine rev. It does have stock exhaust, so it's not going to be too noisy for the neighborhood. Okay, switch this off. Looks like it comes with a car starter as well, like a remote starter. Okay, and we'll start by going over the auction inspection sheet here. So I'll read translate the Japanese into English for you so you understand all of the information that was given to us at the time of purchasing this from auction. It's a 1998 Skyline 4-door 25 GT, so that means the 2.5 liter version. And the GT, just means nothing. There is a 2-liter version of the R34, which is a little bit goofy because it is an underpowered engine. 2.5 just feels like a fine engine. It isn't a turbo. It's not super fast, but I don't think it feels underpowered by any means. This is an auction grade RA because it has a little bit of damage to the frame. And it says here with that its rear floor and the back panel have been dented. Now, I did get an extra video showing this. It's nothing I would personally worry about. RA is a light accident, and really, I can just show you this now. Back panel is behind the bumper, so you do have to worry about lining up. You got a little bit of a line-up problem here from the trunk to the back. It's not huge. Okay, and then back panel here. I don't see any problem with that. Okay, back to the sheet. This is an interior B and exterior B. That's about as high of grade as you'll get on a 25-year-old vehicle. There's no sales points. The only notes are aftermarket wheels, and they're terrible aftermarket wheels. Honestly, when your car comes with original 17s and you decide to put 16s on, then there's something wrong with you, or you just found these wheels on the side of the road and you had a Skyline with no wheels for some reason. No, 17s and 18s on the Skyline. 19s are getting a little bit big, but depends on what you like. But yeah, 18s are usually what most people are putting on them. And the tires are also cheap tire, and so burn out with them and then get rid of them maybe. Door mirrors scratched, isn't so bad in my opinion. Trim scratched, not so bad. The trim in the inside scratches easily. I'll show you when we get to the interior. Seat wear, it looks fine to me. Exterior very scratches and dents, that doesn't bother me. None of them are very large except for one B2 over here, which I'll show you in a second. Okay, interior dirty. It looks like it just needs to be cleaned. Windshield rock chip, another thing I wouldn't worry about. Dashboard has a glue mark. Yeah, that can be a little bit annoying. I'll show you that in a second. It's right there on it. It's like something was mounted onto the dashboard, and when they took it off, it left marks from where it was mounted. And then steering wheel grip has wear on it. It's true. These steering wheels on the R32, 33, and 34 are all very likely to wear out pretty easily. It's not the worst, but you can definitely notice it. If it were me, I would want to change the steering wheel. And then floor carpet is dirty. The body, it says repainted down this section, but I feel like the other side has also been fully repainted. Maybe not the front fender, but these two doors and the back fender and the pillar, and the roof looks like it's original paint. So not fully repainted, but definitely some sections of repaint. And the repaint looks like it's been done at least decently enough that it wouldn't bother me. Over the years, I've gotten kind of annoyed with the repaints here in Japan that tend to be in pretty poor quality. This one seems like it wouldn't annoy me at the very least. And then it says A2 on the front bumper, and I think that's maybe being a bit harsh. Same thing. Back says A2, the trunk has been replaced. Okay, so let's go take you for a once around. Sight lines might be a little bit limited because we are in the lot and we've got a refrigerator truck in the way. We still have my truck. Look at that. Woo. Okay, let's see what we can do here. Headlights are nice and bright, which is good to see. It's very common for them to be faded. And yeah, that Nismo bumper with the fins in the side, quite like it a lot. Okay, this is as much of the car as I can get into frame. But yeah, it was just horribly dark when sitting over there. Because it's almost going to rain. We are in rainy season. Okay, the four-door. I think the four-door of the R34 looks good. I think all of them look fine. Of each one, maybe the 33 is the goofiest looking. You get a little bit of a notchier back end, but Skyline is a Skyline, and four-door Skylines have always been a thing. The original GTR from the 1960s was available in a four-door before it was in a two-door. And so Skylines and four-doors are a thing. It's supposed to be the sporty sedan for the family man who has good taste. Okay, I know I didn't shoot everything very well because you couldn't see the whole car in one clip there, but we're going to have to go with it. Let's go over the details now. The Nismo version has this black section in the middle that looks quite nice. It says Skyline in the bottom. Okay, you could put a GTR badge here and make it a pretend GTR, although the only four-door GTR was the R33. This is all looking fine. Coming down this side, we're looking good. Got a GT badge here. Okay, mirrors haven't been painted, but this section here, yeah, it's been painted. Here's your B2. It's a dent right here with this pretty large scrape. Really more like an AU3, I would say, but some auctions don't have those types of grades. Okay, and I find that the auction that we bought this from tends to be a good mix of the prices are pretty good, the inspections are pretty good. And Mike says it's his favorite auction. So here's your A2 on the back. We also have some scratches on the mud flap here. Okay. Stock exhaust. By the time a Skyline gets this old, we got probably 90% of them, maybe even more, that have aftermarket exhausts. Because it's just so much easier to get an aftermarket exhaust like as a replacement instead of a stock one. Now we got two dents here, one there, and the other one right here. And then yes, it has been repainted. Not the worst. Not the best, not the worst. Most people aren't going to notice. Headlights are a little bit cloudy, but not really that bad, considering it is a very big problem on Skylines to have cloudy headlights. And then we have some paint issue. And this only really shows up in certain light. And it looks like scratches, but it's not. And I can't even see it at all. This section here has what looks like a ton of fine scratches in it. Actually, you can see some of it right on the edge of this. It's a form of paint fade that only seems to affect silvers and a very few amount of 1980s gold paint. There's also a little bit coming off of this and a few other places in the car. I checked that in the side panel check video. For more details, go have a look at those. Unless you are watching this on YouTube, in which case you don't have access to the full set of videos that we shoot for the car. Okay, there's some fade on that section. There's a little bit of fade on that section. And I'm not sure how much you could fix the door. It opens and closes fine. It's not the worst. I'll just pull back so that you can see it completely. And if you look for it, you'll find it, right? If not, most people in the back are looking at that Skyline badge in the middle and the iconic 4 tail lights. So, yeah, not the worst, not the best. Apparently, this is a low emissions vehicle. I don't know if I buy that, but maybe low emissions vehicle in 1998 was different than it is now. Let's go into the car now so you can see the interior. Okay, and I would say about the body, just in conclusion, it's looking good. And remember, low mileage, 63,000 kilometer car. It's good to see. And, a lot of them, the vast majority of these are in far worse condition. And we are buying tons of them at the moment because they're just barely legal into the USA. So we're selling a few to the USA, but many people in Canada are buying them as many as they can find because they know the value is going up. Okay, so steering wheel has a peeling section here and up here. Okay, the rest of it's fine. It's a leather steering wheel. It has a lot of wear at the buttons here. So they must have been using these shift yourself buttons. Yes, it has an automatic transmission, but you can shift yourself, shift up, shift down, like that. I've never been a big fan of automatic transmissions that you can shift yourself. I don't know what it is, but it's useful. It's an option that's there. If you don't like it, you don't have to use it. Or you can also do it like this. Let me just shift. We can, just give me a sec. Or we cannot. I thought I could shift unlock it. But anyways, you push this down to here and then over to the side, and then you can shift up and shift down. Okay? The interior doesn't have any bad smells. Here's the dashboard glue mark that we were talking about. Okay, here's a little bit of a glue issue with the dashboard. I have to say I haven't really seen this kind of a melting issue, just because that's what it looks like on very many of these, but you do see a lot of this. This plastic here is very prone to being scratched, and we have some here. It's far better than your average one. And that plastic continues all through this section here, so if somebody's putting something on here, a phone or keys or something, it might be easy to scratch that finish. Okay, the Skyline floor mats appear to be in pretty good condition. This has got the 2 pedals down there. You have a little place to put your things. You have a headlight levelizer, which is kind of a weird thing. It's more like a Subaru Legacy thing, something you're going to potentially tow something with. The reason why is because if you carry stuff in your trunk or you tow a vehicle, then this makes the back of your car sag down. And when your back of your car sags down, the headlights aren't pointing in the right direction. So it gives a control for that. I don't know. With all the people who lift their trucks or put in brighter lights or something, I don't feel like something like this is really going to make too much of a difference. You don't really know which setting to put it on either. Kind of a weird little gimmick, but it's a carryover from the 1980s. AC works nice and well. Okay, got a Alpine, very late 90s, early 2000s CD player. Okay, I don't know if it's been smoked in. Here it doesn't look anything like it's been smoked in. Cigarette lighter's never been used. It does have a little bit of, this has been washed at one point, and it's often washed to get some of that cigarette out of it. You also have a little bit of a discoloration on that one, and some peeling on this one up here. This is probably the trim scratch that they're talking about. Or maybe some of this. Okay. On to the back seats. I had a 4-door Skyline. I loved it. And you can love it too. These 4 doors, it's fine. Nothing really that special. Very cool that they sold these Skylines at the same time as they sold the front-wheel drive cars in North America. They're kind of odd, though. These are the decisions that Nissan makes. It kind of screws them over. Why not have the Skyline in North America? Oh, is it too expensive? Then why have both models? Like, that seems a little bit strange to me. What's the name of the model? The Maxima? Yeah, the North America kind of got the Maxima instead of the Skyline, or the Maxima instead of the Cedric. And there you go again, the Cedric, too similar of a car to a 4-door Skyline. Why have such an overlap in your products? Are you trying to cannibalize sales from your other products? I don't know. I feel like Nissan has seen Toyota make silly decisions and then tried to emulate them because they wanted to become a leader. And yet Toyota could only do those silly decisions because they had so much money. And then Nissan's like, all my money ran out. What am I going to do? Underneath here is the tire. Well, it's a little bit annoying because the tab to open it up is way over here instead of over here. So you go like this, and then you lift this cardboard thing up. And you got a space saver in here. No rust. Again, I can't stress this enough. Nissans and rust go hand in hand. So getting one that's not rusty when it's already 25 years old, that's a huge win. They started rusting at 15 years old for some of them. Okay, I think we went over this one enough, so I hope you enjoyed this video. We're going to conclude it now. And thank you so much if you made it this far in the video. Maybe you were doing homework or cleaning the house or something. You're not really paying attention. But if you did make it this far, I appreciate it. Thank you so much, everyone, and have a nice day.